Sarah Mitchell swiped through her phone screen, scrolling past one job ad after another. Unemployed for 3 months, her bank account was screaming for help while bills piled up on the kitchen table. With a degree in literature and a specialization in education, she had lost her job at a private school when the institution closed due to financial issues. Looking for a private tutor for an 8-year-old girl. Flexible hours, good pay. Single father, calm environment. Experience with shy children, appreciated. Sarah paused. Something about that ad struck a different chord. Maybe it was the mention of a shy child, or maybe it was just desperation speaking louder. She herself had been an introverted child, finding refuge in books when the world felt too overwhelming. The phone number was there, waiting. Her hands trembled slightly as she typed the message. Hello, I saw your ad about tutoring. I'm Sarah Mitchell, a literature graduate with 5 years of experience in education. I'd love to discuss the position. The reply came in less than an hour. Hi Sarah. I'm David Chen. Could you come by tomorrow at 2 p.m. to talk? Address, 247 Acacia Street. Thank you. Straight to the point. Sarah liked that. No small talk or intrusive questions over the phone. The next day, she got ready carefully, choosing a navy blue blouse and black slacks, professional, but not intimidating to a child. Acacia Street was in a quiet residential neighborhood, with 2-story houses and neatly kept gardens. Number 247 was a brick house with a welcoming porch, where potted plants created a cozy atmosphere. Sarah took a deep breath before ringing the doorbell. Footsteps approached, and the door opened to reveal a man of about 35, with slightly messy black hair and brown eyes that seemed to carry the weight of the world. He wore a casual shirt and jeans, with a yellow paint stain on his sleeve. Sarah. His voice was soft, almost hesitant. Yes, nice to meet you, Mr. Chen. David, please. Come in. The house was warm and homey, with simple but well-chosen furniture. Photographs of a smiling little girl lined the walls, and children's drawings were stuck to the fridge. The smell of fresh coffee lingered in the air. Lily's in her room, drawing, David explained, motioning for Sarah to sit in the living room. She struggles in school. Not because she's not smart, but because she's very shy. The teachers say she has potential, but she can't express herself in class. Sarah nodded, recognizing the scenario. I understand completely. I was like that as a child too. Sometimes the school environment can feel overwhelming for more sensitive kids. David's eyes lit up slightly. Exactly. I've tried a few tutors before, but they were too assertive. Lily would just shut down. Can I meet her? David hesitated. She might not say much at first. Don't take it personally. They walked up a wooden staircase that creaked softly. David knocked on a bedroom door. Lily. There's someone here who'd like to meet you. The door opened to reveal a small girl with black hair in 2 braids and large, expressive eyes like her father's. She wore a yellow dress with flowers and held a colored pencil in her hand. Hi, Lily. I'm Sarah, she said, crouching down to the girl's level. I heard you like to draw. Can I see? Lily looked to her father, who nodded encouragingly. Shyly, she showed a drawing of a house with a garden full of colorful flowers. That's beautiful. You have a real talent for picking colors. This pink flower here, it reminds me of the ones my grandmother used to plant. For the first time, Lily smiled. Sarah began working at the Chen household the following Monday. David had set up a small study area in the living room, with a low table, comfortable chairs, and a bookshelf filled with children's books. There's no need to follow a strict schedule, he explained as he adjusted a cushion on one of the chairs. What matters is that Lily feels comfortable. She learns best when she's not under pressure. Sarah watched how David moved around the house. There was a gentleness in his gestures, an attention to detail that spoke of someone who truly cared. She noticed he had placed fresh flowers on the study table, and the books were organized by color, likely to catch Lily's attention. You did all this for her? Sarah asked, touched by his dedication. David blushed slightly. I try to do what I can. I'm not great at this kind of thing, but I read a lot about child development and... He trailed off, as if he'd said too much. You're a wonderful father, Sarah said sincerely. Lily is very lucky. David's face darkened a bit. I don't always feel that way. Before Sarah could respond, Lily appeared at the stairs, carrying a pink backpack and a stuffed bear. Ready for our first lesson? Sarah asked with a smile. Lily nodded shyly and sat in the chair. David kissed his daughter on the forehead and whispered, "Have fun, little one." Sarah waited until she heard the front door close before beginning. You know, Lily, I brought some special books today. Want to see? She opened her bag and pulled out 3 carefully chosen children's books. One about a shy girl who finds her voice, another about adventures in a magical garden, and a third about a young artist. We can pick one to read together, or I can read it to you first, if you prefer. Lily pointed to the one about the magical garden. Sarah opened it to the first page, but instead of reading right away, she looked at the illustrations with Lily. Look at these beautiful colors on this page. What color do you think this flower is? Lilac, Lily whispered, her first word that morning. Exactly. You know a lot of colors. I bet you could draw a garden even more beautiful than this one. As the days passed, Sarah developed a gentle routine with Lily. They always began with a chat about the drawings Lily had done the day before, followed by reading and math activities presented in a playful way, ending with some creative project. David would arrive home around 5 p.m. each day, and Sarah noticed he seemed eager to hear about Lily's progress. He never asked directly but lingered nearby, pretending to sort papers or make a snack. Lily read 3 pages by herself today, Sarah mentioned on a Thursday, watching David's face light up. Really? She never. I mean, at school she struggles so much. Every child learns in their own time and in their own way. Lily just needed a space where she felt safe enough to try. David looked at her with an expression Sarah couldn't quite decipher. Admiration? Gratitude? Something else? Would you like to stay for dinner? He asked suddenly, then seemed to regret it. I mean, only if you don't have other plans. Lily always asks if you can stay a little longer. Sarah felt her heart skip a beat. I'd love to. Dinner was simple but delicious. David had made spaghetti with tomato sauce and a salad. Lily, who was usually quiet, began talking about her day, describing each activity she had done with Sarah. And then we drew a story. Sarah said my drawings tell stories even without words. David smiled, and Sarah realized it was the first time she'd seen him truly relax. She's right. Your drawings always tell me stories. After dinner, while Lily watched a cartoon in the living room, Sarah helped David with the dishes. They worked in a comfortable silence, until David finally spoke. Thank you, he said softly. Not just for the work with Lily, but for treating her so specially. She's blossoming. She was always a flower, Sarah replied. She just needed the right soil to grow. David stopped scrubbing the plate in his hands and looked at her. You have a special gift with children. I understand what it's like to feel different, Sarah admitted. Lily reminds me a lot of myself. And how did you overcome it? The shyness, I mean. Sarah smiled. Who said I overcame it? I just learned that being quiet doesn't mean you have nothing to say. 3 weeks after she started working with Lily, Sarah was tidying up the study materials when she found a photograph that had fallen behind the bookshelf. It was a picture of David, Lily, and a beautiful woman with brown hair and a radiant smile. They were in a park, and Lily looked about 5 years old. Sarah hesitated before picking up the photo. She knew she should just put it back, but something about the pure happiness on David's face made her pause. She had never seen him smile like that. You found the photo, came David's voice from behind her. Sarah turned quickly, holding the picture. I'm sorry, it was behind the shelf. I wasn't snooping. David stepped closer and gently took the photo from her hands. That's my wife. Ex-wife, he corrected, his voice tightening. Elena. Sarah didn't know what to say. All these weeks, she had assumed David was a widower. The idea that he was divorced brought a strange mix of relief and curiosity. Lily looks like her, Sarah said softly. Yeah, she has her mother's smile, David replied, touching the photo. When she really smiles, like she's been doing lately. He placed the picture back on the shelf, this time in a more visible spot. Elena left us 2 years ago. She said she wasn't ready to be a mother, that she needed to find herself. Sarah felt a tightness in her chest. That must have been incredibly hard. For me, it was. But for Lily. David shook his head. She still asks when her mom is coming back. I don't know what to say. Do you tell her the truth? I try. But how do you explain to an 8-year-old that sometimes the people we love make choices that hurt us? Sarah sat down in the armchair, motioning for David to do the same. Lily's never mentioned her mother to me. She stopped talking about Elena after you started working with us. I thought maybe it was because she's happier now, more focused on the present. Or maybe, Sarah suggested gently, she's found a female figure she can trust again. David looked at her, surprised. You think so? Children are more perceptive than we realize. Lily probably sensed her mom's unhappiness long before she left. That could have made her associate, opening up to women with being abandoned. Did you study child psychology? Not formally, but I've read a lot about it. And Sarah hesitated. My parents divorced when I was 9. My mom left and I stayed with my dad. I shut down for years. David leaned forward. How did your dad handle it? He did what he could, but he was dealing with his own pain. It took a while for him to realize I needed professional help. Do you think Lily needs therapy? Sarah chose her words carefully. I think she needs to know she's unconditionally loved. And from what I see, she does. You've done an amazing job with her, David. I don't feel that way. Most of the time, I feel like I'm just trying not to mess it all up. Every parent feels that way, Sarah said with a soft laugh. Even the ones with partners. You're doing it alone, and doing it really well. David was quiet for a moment, then asked, What about you? Did you ever want kids? Sarah felt a pang in her chest. Always. But I never found the right person. My relationships always ended when the topic came up. It seems I attract men who don't want to commit. Maybe you were looking in the wrong places. Their eyes met, and Sarah felt a current pass between them. It was the first time their conversation had taken a more personal, more intimate tone. Daddy. Sarah. Lily's voice interrupted them. She was standing at the door holding her teddy bear. Can I show you my new drawing? Of course, sweetheart, David said, standing up quickly. Lily ran to them and held out a piece of paper. It was a drawing of 3 people, a tall man, a woman with long hair, and a small girl. They were holding hands in front of a house with a colorful garden. Who are these people? Sarah asked, though she already knew the answer. It's us, Lily said simply. You, me, and Daddy. Like a family. Sarah looked at David, who was staring at the drawing with an intense expression. There was something in his eyes she couldn't quite interpret, but it made her heart race. That's a beautiful drawing, Lily, Sarah said, her voice slightly hoarse. Can I keep it? Lily nodded eagerly and ran back to her room. David and Sarah were alone again, the drawing between them like a bridge to unspoken possibilities. She's never drawn anything like that before, David said quietly. She's never drawn us together as a family. Children draw what they feel, Sarah replied. Maybe she feels like we are a family. And you? What do you feel? The question hung in the air between them, heavy with meaning. Sarah looked at David, seeing the vulnerability in his eyes, and realized she was standing at the edge of something that could change everything. The following Friday, Sarah arrived to find David in the kitchen, clearly frustrated. Papers were scattered across the table, and he was running his hands through his hair in agitation. "Is everything okay?" she asked, placing her bag on the chair. "Sorry, it's just work," he muttered, trying to gather the papers. "An important project got rejected today. I'm an architect and this client. Anyway, it doesn't matter." Sarah walked over to the table. The papers revealed beautiful architectural plans, filled with careful details and a design that blended modernity with warmth. "Can I see?" she asked. David hesitated, then spread the drawings out again. It was supposed to be a home for a young family. They wanted something special, different. But they said it was too emotional for what they needed. Sarah studied the designs. It was a two-story house with large windows, an inner garden, and flowing spaces that connected naturally. There was something magical about the way David had thought through every detail. "They're crazy," she said firmly. "This is beautiful. It looks like a place where people would truly live, not just exist." "You think so?" David asked, surprised by her certainty. "David, this is art. You're not just designing a house, you're creating a home. Look here," she pointed to a specific spot. "This little reading nook by the window? A child would remember that place for the rest of their life." David looked at the spot she was pointing to, then at Sarah. "You really get it." "Of course I do. You put love into everything you do. It's obvious in your designs, in how you take care of Lily, in how you set up the study space." "Sarah," David said gently, cutting her off. She looked at him and realized how close he had gotten. When had that happened? She could feel the warmth radiating from his body, could see the fine lines around his eyes that appeared when he smiled. "Thank you," he said. "For understanding. For seeing what I see." "Daddy, why are you whispering?" Lily's voice made them pull apart quickly. "We were just looking at Daddy's drawings," Sarah explained, trying to hide the blush rising to her cheeks. "Daddy draws houses," Lily announced proudly. "He told me one day he'll design a special house just for us." David smiled at his daughter. "Maybe someday, sweetheart." "With a big garden for drawing?" Lily asked hopefully. "With the biggest garden in the world," David promised, lifting her into his arms. Sarah watched the exchange between father and daughter, feeling a tightness in her chest. There was so much love here, so much dedication. David was everything she had ever dreamed of in a man, but never dared to expect. During the lesson, Sarah had trouble focusing. Her eyes kept drifting to the kitchen, where David was working on his laptop. She noticed how he bit his lower lip when concentrating, how he tapped his fingers on the table when deep in thought. "Sarah," Lily called out, pulling her attention back. "Are you okay? You seem different." "I'm fine, sweetheart. How about we read this book together?" But Lily wasn't fooled. "Do you like my daddy?" The blunt question from an 8-year-old made Sarah choke slightly. Well, your daddy is very nice." "He likes you too," Lily said matter-of-factly. "He smiles different when you're here." "Oh, really?" "Aha. And he sang in the shower yesterday." "He never sings." Despite her nerves, Sarah laughed. "Glad to hear he's happy." "You make him happy," Lily said with the brutal simplicity only children possess. Later, when David returned to the living room, Sarah noticed that Lily had been right. There was something different about his posture, the way he moved. He seemed lighter. "How was the lesson today?" he asked, sitting down near them. "Lily read an entire story on her own," Sarah reported, "and did all her math exercises without any help." "Really?" David looked at his daughter with pride. "You're amazing, Lily." "Sarah's the amazing one," Lily corrected him. "She makes everything easier." David looked at Sarah, and again she felt that familiar current pass between them. "Yes, she does." When it was time for Sarah to leave, David walked her to the door. It was a cool autumn evening, and the leaves on the trees were beginning to change color. "Sarah," he said as she stepped onto the sidewalk, "would you like to have dinner with me? I mean, with Lily and me, of course. Saturday night." Sarah felt her heart leap. "I'd love to." "Great. I'll cook something special. Can I bring dessert?" "Just bring yourself," David said, then seemed to realize what he'd said. "I mean." "I know what you meant," Sarah smiled. "See you Saturday." As she walked to her car, Sarah looked back and saw David still standing at the door, watching her go. He waved, and she waved back, feeling like something fundamental between them had just shifted. Sarah changed outfits 3 times before settling on the emerald green blouse and dark jeans. It wasn't too formal, but it wasn't casual either. She wanted to look beautiful, just not like she was trying too hard. When she arrived at the Chen's house at 6 p.m. on Saturday, she was greeted by a delicious aroma wafting from the kitchen. David opened the door wearing an apron that said, "World's Best Dad," clearly a gift from Lily. "You look beautiful," he said, and Sarah noticed he had dressed up too. He wore a blue shirt that made his brown eyes stand out, and he had shaved. "Thank you. You look great too," she replied, feeling herself blush. "Sarah. Sarah." Lily came running to hug her, wearing a blue dress with stars. "Daddy made lasagna. And I helped with the salad. So fancy. You two cooked together." "Lily is my official sous chef," David said, ruffling his daughter's hair. "She's got a natural talent for seasoning." The table was set more carefully than Sarah had ever seen. There were candles, which David quickly clarified were for atmosphere, not romance, cloth napkins, and even garden flowers in a small vase. "You've outdone yourself," Sarah said, impressed. "I wanted it to be special," David admitted, then quickly added, "to thank you for everything you've done for Lily." During dinner, the conversation flowed naturally. Lily talked about an art project she was working on at school, David shared about a new client he had landed, and Sarah told funny stories from her days as a teacher. "There was a student who insisted that 2 plus 2 is equal to 5, she said, making Lily giggle. When I asked why, he said his grandma had 2 cats, got 2 more, but one of the original cats had a kitten, so now she had 5 cats. Technically, he wasn't wrong. That's flawless logic," David laughed. "I bet you couldn't bring yourself to correct him." "Of course not. I told him he was right about the cats, but that in math, we count a little differently." "You're really great with kids," David said, and there was something in his voice that made Sarah look at him more closely. After dinner, Lily asked to show Sarah her room. It was a charming space with light yellow walls, a canopy bed, and dozens of drawings taped to the walls. "This is my favorite place," Lily said, pointing to a cozy corner with cushions and books. "Daddy says everyone needs a special place to dream." Sarah knelt to look at the books. There were children's classics, art books, and even a few about architecture geared toward kids. "Did your daddy pick these out?" "Some. Others were from Mommy, before she left." Sarah felt a pang in her chest. "Do you miss her?" Lily thought for a moment. "Sometimes. But now I have you. And you're not going to leave, right?" The innocent question struck Sarah like lightning. I don't plan on going anywhere, sweetheart." "Good. Because I love you, Sarah. You're like a mommy to me." Sarah felt tears sting her eyes. "I love you too, Lily. Very much." When they returned to the living room, David was clearing the table. Lily announced she was going to watch a cartoon before bed, leaving the adults alone. "Did she say something important up there?" David asked, noticing the emotion in Sarah's expression. "She told me she loves me, and that I'm like a mother to her." David stopped folding the napkin. "Sarah, I know it's complicated," she said quickly. "I know I'm just the tutor, and maybe I'm getting my hopes up." "Stop," David said gently, stepping closer. "You're not just anything. You've changed our lives." "David." "No, let me finish." He took her hands in his. In these past 2 months, you've brought something into this house that I thought we'd never have again. Joy. Hope. A sense of being a real family. Sarah looked at their joined hands. I feel the same. When I'm here, I feel like I'm home. Sarah, I need to be honest with you. I didn't plan for this. When I posted that ad, I was just trying to find someone to help Lily with school. I never imagined I'd meet someone who... Who what? David took a deep breath. Someone who would make me want to try again. To love again. Sarah's heart skipped a beat. David. I know it's risky. I know it could complicate things. But I can't keep pretending what I feel for you is just gratitude or friendship. Sarah looked into his eyes and saw vulnerability, fear, but also hope. You're saying that. I'm saying I'm in love with you, Sarah. Completely, irreversibly in love. The confession hung in the air between them. Sarah felt her world shift and rearrange itself around those words. Everything she had ever wished for, a man who loved her, a child who saw her as a mother, a family, was there within reach. Me too, she whispered. I'm in love with you too. David smiled, and it transformed his entire face. Really? For weeks. Maybe since the first day. He stepped closer, lifting his hand to touch her cheek. Can I kiss you? Sarah nodded, and when their lips met, she knew she was home. It was a soft kiss, full of promise and possibility. Daddy. Sarah. Lily's voice interrupted them. Are you dating now? They pulled apart, laughing. What do you think? David asked his daughter. I think it was about time, Lily said, running to hug them. Now we're a real family. 3 weeks after that first kiss, Sarah woke up with a knot in her stomach. Today was the school's parent meeting, and David had asked her to come with them. It would be the first time they appeared publicly as a family. Are you sure you want me to come? Sarah asked for the 5th time while getting ready in David's bathroom mirror. They had decided she would spend a few nights a week at the house so Lily could gradually adjust to their new family dynamic. Sarah, stop worrying, David said, appearing behind her and wrapping his arms around her. The teacher already knows about you. Lily talks about you all the time. But what about the other parents? They'll think we're rushing things, or that I'm trying to replace her mother. David turned her to face him. Listen, what matters is how we feel. Lily is happier than she's ever been. Her grades have improved, she talks more, smiles more. Anyone who truly cares about her will see that. Sarah took a deep breath, trying to calm her nerves. And what if Elena shows up? The question she'd been avoiding finally came out. David tensed for a moment, then relaxed. She won't show up. She never has. But what if she does? Then we'll handle it together, David said firmly. You're part of our family now, Sarah. Officially or not. Lily appeared at the door, already dressed in her school uniform. Are you guys ready? I want to show you my family project. The family project. Sarah's stomach twisted again. Lily had mentioned she was working on something special, but hadn't given any details. Sunshine Valley Elementary was a cheerful red brick building with well-kept gardens and colorful walls. Sarah held David's hand as they walked down the hallway, feeling the curious glances of other parents. Ah, Mr. Chen. Lily's teacher, Mrs. Morrison, a middle-aged woman with graying hair and a warm smile, approached them. And you must be Sarah. Lily talks about you so much I feel like I already know you. Nice to meet you, Sarah replied, feeling a little more at ease. Lily's so excited to share her project. She worked really hard on it. Come, I'll take you to the classroom. The classroom was decorated with students' work. Family projects were spread across the tables, each one unique and special. Sarah saw traditional families, single-parent families, families with grandparents, adoptive families. Here's Lily's, Mrs. Morrison said, stopping at a table in the center of the room. The project was a handmade book, bound with a blue ribbon. On the cover, in neat lettering, it read, My Family by Lily Chen. Sarah opened the first page and immediately felt tears prick her eyes. The first page featured a drawing of 3 people under the title, Before and After. On the left side was a man and a little girl, both with sad expressions. On the right, the same 2 people, but now with a third figure, a woman with long hair, and all of them were smiling. Before, it was just Daddy and me, Lily explained, pointing at the drawing. We were happy, but something was missing. After Sarah came, our family felt complete. Sarah turned the page. There were photos glued in, her and Lily reading together, David cooking while she and Lily did homework, the 3 of them at the park the previous weekend. This is my family now, Lily continued. Daddy, Sarah, and me. Sarah's not my biological mom, but she loves me like one. And I love her too. Lily, this is beautiful, Sarah managed to say, her voice thick with emotion. There's more, Lily said excitedly, flipping to the next page. I wrote about what makes each person in the family special. Sarah read aloud, My daddy is special because he draws the most beautiful houses in the world and makes the best pancakes. He always hugs me when I'm sad and reads me stories before bed. David cleared his throat, clearly moved. Sarah is special because she makes learning fun and helps me not be afraid to try new things. She teaches me about beautiful words and helps me express my feelings. She's like a mom to me, and I want her to stay forever. Lily. Sarah couldn't finish the sentence. And together, Lily went on, we're a family that loves each other very much. It doesn't matter that we don't look the same or didn't start out together. What matters is that we take care of one another. The teacher smiled. Lily presented this project to the whole class yesterday. It was very touching. She spoke about how families can be formed in many different ways, but love is always the same. How did the class react? David asked. Very well. In fact, it led to a wonderful discussion about different types of families. Lily even helped a classmate who was feeling out of place because her parents are divorcing. Sarah looked at Lily with pride. This shy little girl she had met months ago was becoming a confident and empathetic young person. May I speak with you two privately? Mrs. Morrison asked. They asked Lily to show her project to some classmates who had arrived and stepped aside with the teacher. I just wanted you to know that Lily's transformation has been remarkable, she said. Not just academically, but socially and emotionally. She's more engaged, more confident. And that shift started when Sarah entered her life. She's always been special, Sarah said. She just needed to feel safe enough to shine. Exactly. And I want you to know that, as an educator, I see many different family situations. What matters isn't the structure, it's the love and stability. Lily clearly has both. As they were leaving the school, Lily grabbed Sarah and David's hands. Did you like my project? We loved it, David said. We're so proud of you. And so proud to be part of your family, Sarah added. Can we go get ice cream to celebrate now? Lily asked hopefully. Of course, David laughed. How about that new place near the park? As they walked to the car, Sarah felt a peace she hadn't known in a long time. Her fears about acceptance, about moving too fast, about not being good enough, all of them seemed small now. Thank you, she said to David as Lily ran ahead to the car. For what? For letting me be part of this. For trusting me with her. For showing me that families can be built, not just born. David stopped and kissed her softly. Thank you for showing us what a complete family feels like. Lily shouted from the car. Are you coming or not? The ice cream is waiting. They laughed and ran to the car, ready for another adventure, as a family. Sarah realized that no matter what challenges lay ahead, they would face them together. Sarah barely slept that night. Elena's words echoed in her mind. How convenient. He found someone who can take care of the child and him at the same time. She turned in David's bed, watching him sleep peacefully, and wondered if there was any truth to those cruel words. The next morning, during breakfast, the atmosphere was tense. Lily was quiet, pushing cereal around her bowl, and David seemed lost in thought. "Daddy," Lily finally broke the silence. "Do I have to have dinner with Mommy?" David sighed. "She's your mother, sweetheart. Maybe it's important for you two to talk. But I don't want to. She's going to leave again." Sarah felt her heart tighten. "Lily, sometimes adults make mistakes. Maybe your mom has learned from hers. Do you think I should go?" Lily asked, looking at Sarah with total trust. The question put Sarah in an impossible position. How could she advise on something as delicate as the relationship between mother and daughter? "I think you should do what your heart tells you," Sarah answered carefully. "But remember, your daddy and I will be here when you come back." After Lily left for school, David and Sarah finally had a chance to talk. "You were really quiet last night," David observed, pouring coffee for both of them. "I was processing everything," Sarah admitted. "David, I need to ask you something, and I want you to be honest with me." "I always am. Are you with me because it's convenient? Because I'm good with Lily?" David almost dropped his cup. "How can you even think that?" Elena said. "Elena said a lot of things just to hurt you. She always was like that when she felt threatened. But she has a point, doesn't she? You're a single father, you need someone who understands Lily, and I show up as her tutor." "Sarah, stop." David stepped closer to her. "Do you think I'd pretend to be in love for the sake of convenience? Not consciously. But maybe." "No." David cupped her face in his hands. "I fell in love with you before I even saw how you were with Lily. I fell in love with the way you look at art, the way you understand people, the way you smile when you think no one's looking." Sarah felt tears welling up. I'm afraid that when the novelty wears off, you'll realize you could find someone better." "Someone better?" David chuckled softly. "Sarah, you're everything I never knew I wanted. You're kind without being weak, smart without being condescending, and you love Lily in a way Elena never could. But what if Elena wants to come back? What if she wants to try again?" David was silent for a moment. "She can try. But that doesn't change how I feel about you. Or what Lily feels. Lily chose you yesterday. And she chose me too. But she's just a child, David. Kids change their minds. You want to know what I think?" David sat beside her. "I think you're scared. Not of Elena, but of being happy. Of finally having the family you always wanted." Sarah looked at him, surprised by his insight. "Maybe you're right. My first wife left because she couldn't handle the responsibility. You embraced our family with open arms. That's not convenience, Sarah. That's love." That afternoon, while Sarah worked with Lily, she noticed the girl was more restless than usual. "Are you nervous about dinner?" Sarah asked. "A little. What if she tries to take me away?" "Your daddy wouldn't let that happen. And neither would I. Promise. Promise." Lily hugged her tightly. "Sarah, could you be my real mom one day? Like, officially?" Sarah felt her heart skip a beat. "Would you like that?" "More than anything in the world." "Then let's see what the future holds, okay?" At 5 p.m., Elena arrived to pick up Lily. She was elegantly dressed, as always, but Sarah noticed she looked nervous. "Hi, sweetheart," Elena said to Lily. "Ready for our dinner?" "I think so," Lily replied without enthusiasm. "Where are you going?" David asked. "I thought the Italian restaurant downtown. Lily's always liked pasta." "She likes margherita pizza," Sarah said automatically, then regretted speaking. Elena looked at her with irritation. "Thanks, but I know my daughter." "Of course," Sarah murmured, feeling foolish. "Sarah knows what I like now," Lily said innocently. She knows I don't like mushrooms and that I prefer apple juice with dinner. Elena looked hurt. I didn't know you didn't like mushrooms. You never asked, Lily said with the brutal honesty only a child can have. The awkwardness was palpable. Despite everything, Sarah felt a pang of sympathy for Elena. Let's go, Elena said, holding out her hand. Let's have fun. After they left, David and Sarah sat in silence for a while. Do you feel sorry for her? David asked. A little. It must be hard to see how much your daughter has changed. She chose to walk out of Lily's life. She can't expect everything to stay the same. Still, she is Lily's mother. And you're the one who's been here, who knows her likes, her fears, her dreams. Sarah curled up on the couch. I just hope Lily is okay. She will be. She has you. 2 hours later, Elena brought Lily back. The girl was quiet, holding her teddy bear. How was it? David asked. It was hard, Elena admitted. She's very different now. More mature. More self-assured. She's grown, Sarah said softly. Yes, she's grown. Elena looked at Sarah. You've done a good job with her. Thank you. Can I speak with you privately? Sarah looked at David, who nodded. The two women stepped out onto the porch. I wanted to apologize, Elena said abruptly, for what I said yesterday. It was cruel and unfair. It's okay. No, it's not. I was jealous. Jealous that you've become for Lily what I never could be. Sarah didn't know what to say. She talked about you the entire dinner. Sarah this, Sarah that. It's obvious she loves you. I love her too. I know. And that's the problem. I can't compete with real love. Sarah barely slept that night. Elena's words echoed in her mind. How convenient. He found someone who can take care of the child and him at the same time. She turned over in David's bed, watching him sleep peacefully, and wondered if there was any truth to those cruel words. The next morning, during breakfast, the atmosphere was tense. Lily was quiet, pushing her cereal around her bowl, and David seemed lost in thought. Daddy, Lily finally broke the silence. Do I have to have dinner with Mommy? David sighed. She's your mom, sweetheart. Maybe it's important that you two talk. But I don't want to. She's just going to leave again. Sarah felt her heart tighten. Lily, sometimes adults make mistakes. Maybe your mom has learned from hers. Do you think I should go? Lily asked, looking at Sarah with complete trust. The question put Sarah in an impossible position. How could she advise something so delicate as the relationship between mother and daughter? I think you should do what your heart tells you, Sarah answered carefully. But remember, your dad and I will be right here when you come back. After Lily left for school, David and Sarah finally had a chance to talk. You were really quiet last night, David said, pouring coffee for them both. I was processing everything, Sarah admitted. David, I need to ask you something, and I want you to be honest. Always. Are you with me because it's convenient? Because I'm good with Lily. David nearly dropped his cup. How can you even think that? Elena said. Elena said a lot of things to hurt you. She's always been like that when she feels threatened. But maybe she had a point, didn't she? You're a single dad, you needed someone to help with Lily, and I showed up as her tutor. Sarah, stop. David stepped closer. You think I'd fake being in love for convenience? Not consciously. But maybe. No, he cupped her face in his hands. I fell for you before I even saw how you were with Lily. I fell for the way you look at art, the way you understand people, the way you smile when you think no one's watching. Tears welled in Sarah's eyes. I'm just afraid that once the newness wears off, you'll realize you could find someone better. Someone better? David chuckled softly. Sarah, you're everything I never knew I needed. You're kind without being weak, smart without being arrogant, and you love Lily in a way Elena never could. But what if Elena wants to come back? What if she tries again? David was quiet for a moment. She might try. But that doesn't change what I feel for you. Or what Lily feels. She chose you yesterday. And she chose me, too. But she's just a child, David. Kids change their minds. You know what I think. David sat beside her. I think you're scared. Not of Elena, but of being happy. Of finally having the family you've always wanted. Sarah looked at him, surprised by his insight. Maybe you're right. My first wife left because she couldn't handle the responsibility. You walked into our lives and embraced everything with open arms. That's not convenience, Sarah. That's love. That afternoon, while Sarah worked with Lily, she noticed the girl was more restless than usual. Are you nervous about dinner? Sarah asked. A little. What if she tries to take me away? Your dad wouldn't let that happen. And neither would I. Promise. I promise. Lily hugged her tightly. Sarah, can you be my real mom one day? Like, officially. Sarah's heart stopped. Would you like that? More than anything in the world. Then we'll see what the future brings, okay? At 5 p.m., Elena arrived to pick up Lily. She was, as always, elegantly dressed, but Sarah noticed she seemed nervous. Hi, sweetheart, Elena said. Ready for our dinner? I guess, Lily replied without much enthusiasm. Where are you two going? David asked. I thought the Italian place downtown. Lily always liked pasta. She likes margherita pizza, Sarah said automatically, then regretted it. Elena looked annoyed. Thanks, but I know my daughter. Sarah knows what I like now, Lily said innocently. She knows I don't like mushrooms and that I want apple juice with dinner. Elena seemed hurt. I didn't know you didn't like mushrooms. You never asked, Lily said, with the brutal honesty of a child. The awkwardness was palpable. Sarah actually felt sorry for Elena, despite everything. Let's go, Elena said, holding out her hand. Let's try to have fun. After they left, David and Sarah sat in silence for a while. Do you feel sorry for her? David asked. A little. It must be hard to realize your daughter has changed so much. She chose to leave Lily's life. She can't expect things to be the same. She's still Lily's mother. And you're the one who's been here, who knows her preferences, her fears, her dreams. Sarah curled up on the couch. I just hope Lily's okay. She will be. She has you. 2 hours later, Elena returned with Lily. The little girl was quiet, clutching her teddy bear. How was it? David asked. It was hard, Elena admitted. She's changed a lot. She's more mature, more self-assured. She's grown, Sarah said softly. Yes, she has. Elena turned to Sarah. You've done a wonderful job with her. Thank you. Can I speak with you alone? Elena asked. Sarah looked at David, who nodded. They stepped onto the porch. I wanted to apologize, Elena said abruptly, for what I said yesterday. It was cruel and unfair. It's okay. No, it's not. I was jealous. Jealous that you became the mother I couldn't be. Sarah didn't know what to say. During dinner, Lily told me about your routines, how you read to her before bed, help her with nightmares, make up stories together. She told me about the garden you're planting. She told you about the garden? With so much pride. She said you planted sunflower seeds because they're her favorite, and that when they bloom, you're going to have a picnic among them. Sarah smiled. She's so excited about that. You know what hurt the most? When I asked her what she liked doing most, she said, Anything, as long as Sarah's there. Not with Daddy. Not at school. With you. She loves you too, Elena. You're her mother. I'm the woman who gave birth to her. You're her mother. Elena wiped away a tear. And I'm not saying this to be dramatic. I'm saying it because it's true. They stood quietly for a moment, watching the stars begin to appear in the sky. What will you do now? Sarah asked. I'm going back to London. My life is there. And Lily. She's right where she should be. With people who love her unconditionally. Elena turned to Sarah. Can I ask you a favor? Of course. Take care of her. Love her like she's your own. And, when she asks about me, be kind. I don't want her to hate me. She doesn't hate you. She's just confused. Maybe one day, when she's older, we can have a relationship. Maybe I can be the cool aunt who visits sometimes. Sarah nodded. You'll always be welcome here. Thank you. And Sarah. David's a lucky man. You both deserve this happiness. When they returned inside, they found David and Lily in the living room. Lily was in her dad's lap, looking small and vulnerable. Lily, Elena said softly. Mommy has to go back to London tomorrow. Okay, Lily said, but Sarah could see the relief in her eyes. Can I see you again before I leave? Elena asked. Are you going to leave for a long time again? Elena hesitated. Yes, sweetheart. Mommy lives far away. Then I don't want to say goodbye again. It's too sad. Elena closed her eyes, clearly struggling to hold back tears. Okay. But I want you to know that Mommy loves you, even from far away. I know, Lily said simply. But faraway love is different from close love. The simple wisdom of an 8-year-old left everyone silent. Elena said goodbye with a kiss on Lily's forehead and a hug for David. She extended her hand to Sarah. Thank you, she whispered. For everything. After Elena left, Lily was quiet for a while. Then she looked at Sarah. You're not leaving too, right? No, sweetheart. I'm staying. Forever. Sarah looked at David, who nodded encouragingly. If you want me to, forever. We do, Lily said firmly. A lot. That night, after Lily went to bed, David and Sarah sat on the porch. How do you feel? David asked. Weird. Sad for Elena, but also relieved. Relieved. Now I know she's not going to try to take Lily away. And that you both really chose me, not out of convenience, but out of love. David pulled her into his arms. It's always been love, Sarah. From the very beginning. Lily said something wise today. She said love from far away is different from love up close. She's right. And I want your love up close. Really close. Sarah smiled. How close? As close as possible. David grew serious. Sarah, I know it's still early, but would you move in? Officially. Are you sure? I've never been more sure of anything. Sarah looked at the house where she'd found not just a job, but a family. Yes, she said. I'd love to. And Sarah, there's one more thing I want to ask you. What? David smiled mysteriously. But that can wait a little longer. As they embraced on the porch, Sarah knew her life had changed completely. She had accepted a job as a tutor, and found something far more valuable, the love she had always been searching for. 2 months after Elena's departure, Sarah was officially living in the Chen house. Her things had naturally blended with theirs, creating a home that breathed love and harmony. Lily had insisted that Sarah place some of her books on the living room shelf, and David had transformed the small office into a shared workspace. Sarah, can you help me choose the dress for the school presentation? Lily shouted from the bedroom. Of course, dear. Sarah replied, setting down the breakfast she was preparing. David smiled as he watched her run up the stairs. In the past few months, he had observed Sarah flourish in her role as a mother. She had infinite patience with Lily, always finding creative ways to transform challenges into learning opportunities. "Dad, do you think this blue dress or the pink one?" Lily asked, appearing in the kitchen minutes later with Sarah. "Both are beautiful, but the blue one matches your eyes," David replied, kissing his daughter's forehead. Sarah said the same thing. "You two always agree." "Maybe it's because we know each other well," Sarah said, exchanging a loving glance with David. The school presentation was about my family, and Lily had insisted that both David and Sarah attend. She had prepared a special presentation about how her family had changed and grown. "You're going to like it," Lily said mysteriously in the car. "It's about all of us." At school, Sarah felt completely at ease. Other parents greeted her by name, and she felt truly part of Lily's school community. Sarah, Amanda, Jessica's mother, approached. "How's the garden project at home going?" "Flourishing. Lily has a natural talent for plants." Jessica said Lily invited her for a picnic among the sunflowers next weekend. "Of course. The more children, the better." David watched the interaction with a smile. Sarah had integrated perfectly not only into his family, but into the entire social network around Lily. When it was Lily's turn to present, she took the stage with confidence she hadn't had months ago. "My family is special," she began. "It's not like other families, but it's perfect for me." She showed a series of drawings she had made over the months. The first showed her and David alone in a house. The second showed Sarah arriving. The third showed all three together, with more vivid colors and richer details. "First it was just me and my dad. He took care of me and loved me very much, but sometimes I felt lonely. Then Sarah came to teach us, but she did much more than that. She taught us how to be a real family." Sarah felt tears in her eyes. David took her hand and squeezed it. "Sarah teaches me things at school, but she also teaches me about being brave. She teaches me that it's okay to be different, that it's okay to be quiet sometimes, and that love doesn't need to be shouted to be real." Lily showed her most recent drawing, the three of them in a garden full of sunflowers, with a dog playing beside them. "And now we are a complete family. My dad designs beautiful houses, Sarah helps me learn about the world, and I help them remember what it's like to be a child." The presentation ended with enthusiastic applause. Lily ran to hug Sarah and David. "Did you like it?" "It was perfect," Sarah said, wiping away tears. "Just like you." "Wait until you see the surprise I have for you at home," Lily said, smiling mysteriously. On the way home, they stopped at the pet shop. Lily had been asking for a dog for weeks, and Sarah and David had finally agreed. "Can I choose?" Lily asked, looking at the puppies. "You can choose," David confirmed. Lily studied each puppy carefully, talking to each one. Finally, she chose a small, golden retriever. "This one," she said decisively. "He reminds me of the sun." "What shall we call him?" Sarah asked. "Sunny. Because he's going to bring even more joy to our family." Back home, while Lily played with Sunny in the garden, David pulled Sarah aside. "There's something I want to show you," he said, seeming nervous. He led her to his office and showed her architectural plans spread across the table. "What is this?" Sarah asked. "Our new house. I mean, if you want." Sarah looked at the drawings. It was a beautiful house, with large windows, an art studio for her, a cozy library, and a huge garden. "David, it's beautiful. But why a new house?" "Because I want to build something that's just ours. Something that reflects who we are as a family." Sarah studied every detail. There was a special room for Lily, with an entire wall for her drawings. There was an office for David with a view of the garden. And there was a special space she couldn't identify. "What is this room here?" she asked. David blushed. "Well, I hope it will be a nursery. Someday." Sarah looked at him with surprise. "David, I know it's early to talk about this, but I want more children with you. I want Lily to have siblings. I want to build a big, noisy family full of love. Are you sure? Absolutely. You made me remember the joy of being a father. You made me want to experience everything again, but this time with the right person. Sarah felt her heart overflow. I would love to have children with you. So you like the house? I love the house. But more importantly, I love the family we're going to create in it. They kissed, and Sarah knew her life had found its purpose. She had accepted a job as a tutor, but had found a calling as a mother and wife. Dad! Sarah! Lily shouted from the garden. Sunny peed on the flowers. They laughed and ran to the garden. 3 weeks after that first kiss, Sarah woke up with a knot in her stomach. Today was the day of the parent meeting at Lily's school, and David had asked her to accompany them. It would be the first time they would appear publicly as a family. Are you sure you want me to go? Sarah asked for the 5th time while getting ready in David's bathroom mirror. They had decided that she would spend a few nights a week at the house, so that Lily would gradually get used to the new family dynamic. Sarah, stop worrying, David said, appearing behind her and wrapping her in his arms. The teacher already knows about you. Lily talks about you all the time. But what about the other parents? They'll think we're too hasty, or that I'm trying to replace her mother. David turned her to face him. Listen, what matters is how we feel. Lily is happier than she's ever been. Her grades have improved, she talks more, smiles more. Anyone who really cares about her will see that. Sarah took a deep breath, trying to calm her nerves. What if Elena shows up? The question she had been avoiding finally came out. David tensed for a moment, then relaxed. She won't show up. She never has before. But what if she does? Then we'll deal with it together, David said firmly. You're part of our family now, Sarah. Officially or not. Lily appeared at the door, already dressed in her school uniform. Are you ready? I want to show my family project to both of you. The family project. Sarah felt her stomach churn again. Lily had mentioned she was working on something special, but hadn't given details. Sunshine Valley Elementary School was a cheerful red brick building with well-maintained gardens and colorful walls. Sarah held David's hand as they walked down the hallway, feeling the curious glances of other parents. Oh, Mr. Chen. Lily's teacher, Mrs. Morrison, a middle-aged woman with graying hair and a warm smile, approached. And you must be Sarah. Lily talks so much about you that I feel like I already know you. Nice to meet you, Sarah replied, feeling a little more relaxed. Lily is so excited to show her project. She worked very hard on it. Come, I'll take you to the classroom. The room was decorated with students' work. Family projects were scattered across the tables, each one unique and special. Sarah saw traditional families, single-parent families, families with grandparents, adoptive families. Here's Lily's, Mrs. Morrison said, stopping in front of a table in the center of the room. The project was a handmade book, bound with blue ribbon. On the cover, in careful letters, was written, My Family by Lily Chen. Sarah opened the first page and felt tears sting her eyes. The first page showed a drawing of 3 people under the title, Before and After. On the left side, there was a man and a girl, both with sad expressions. On the right side, the same 2 people, but now with a third, a woman with long hair, and everyone was smiling. Before, it was just Dad and me, Lily explained, pointing to the drawing. We were happy, but something was missing. After Sarah came, our family became complete. Sarah turned the page. There were glued photos, her and Lily reading together, David cooking while she and Lily did homework, the 3 of them at the park the previous weekend. This is my family now, Lily continued. Dad, Sarah and me. Sarah isn't my biological mother, but she loves me as if she were. And I love her too. Lily, this is beautiful, Sarah managed to say, her voice choked. There's more, Lily said excitedly. turning to the next page. I wrote about how each person in the family is special. Sarah read aloud, "My dad is special because he draws the most beautiful houses in the world and makes the best pancakes. He always hugs me when I'm sad and reads me stories before bed." David cleared his throat, clearly moved. "Sarah is special because she makes learning fun and helps me not be afraid to try new things. She teaches me about beautiful words and helps me express my feelings. She's like a mother to me, and I want her to stay forever." Lily. Sarah couldn't finish the sentence. "And together," Lily continued, "we're a family that loves each other very much. It doesn't matter that we don't look alike or that we didn't start together. What matters is that we take care of each other." The teacher smiled. Lily presented this project to the whole class yesterday. It was very touching. She talked about how families can be formed in different ways, but love is always the same. "How did the class react?" David asked. "Very well. Actually, it generated a very rich discussion about different types of families. Lily even helped a classmate who was feeling displaced because her parents are getting divorced." Sarah looked at Lily with pride. This shy girl she had met months ago was becoming a confident and empathetic young person. "Can I speak with you both privately?" Mrs. Morrison asked. They asked Lily to show her project to some classmates who had arrived and stepped away with the teacher. "I wanted you to know that Lily's transformation has been remarkable," she said. "Not just academically, but socially and emotionally. She's more participative, more confident. And much of this started when Sarah entered her life." "She was always special," Sarah said. "She just needed to feel safe to shine." "Exactly. And I wanted you to know that, as an educator, I see many different family situations. What matters isn't the structure of the family, but the love and stability. Lily clearly has both." When they were leaving school, Lily held Sarah's and David's hands. "Did you like my project?" "We loved it," David said. "We're very proud of you." "And very proud to be part of your family," Sarah added. "Now can we go get ice cream to celebrate?" Lily asked hopefully. "Of course," David laughed. "How about that new ice cream shop near the park?" As they walked to the car, Sarah felt a peace she hadn't experienced in a long time. Her fears about acceptance, about moving too fast, about not being good enough, all seemed insignificant now. "Thank you," she said to David when Lily ran ahead to the car. "For what?" "For letting me be part of this. For trusting me with her. For showing me that families can be built, not just born." David stopped and kissed her gently. "Thank you for showing us what it means to be a complete family." Lily shouted from the car, "Are you coming or not? The ice cream is waiting." They laughed and ran to the car, ready for another adventure as a family. Sarah realized that no matter what challenges they might face, they would face them together.